Well, welcome to this gathering of First Evangelical Free Church. It is great to be back in church today, isn't it? And for those of you who are joining us live stream, we appreciate you and love you and look forward to when you can come back when you feel it's safe to come back as well. Our mission at First Evangelical Free Church is knowing God and making Him known. Our passion is we are becoming disciples, living as a family of disciples, serving as disciples in our community, and sending disciples into the world. For announcements, you can see that we don't have bulletins. We also don't have offering plates to pass. So for offerings, there are baskets in the back of the room, and you also have the option of online giving as well. But on the website, there's a button that you can click on that says Bulletin and Inserts, and there's some important announcements in there today. And the first one is in the big three, and that is that next Sunday's worship service will continue to be like this one, in person and online. There aren't any other changes at this time to our schedule. As we mentioned last week, this is just the first step. But in June, you can expect that we'll take another step. We'll introduce some more of our regular programming back into our church schedule, little by little. But remember that this is going to be a long process, okay? So watch for emails from the church or check the website out. We'll have schedules on there. And I encourage you to check out the bulletin. Also in the bulletin is an announcement about Vacation Bible School. Last couple weeks, we had a survey, and we have sufficient volunteers to hold Vacation Bible School in July. And so we're planning to do that July 12th through the 16th, but we can still use more volunteers, and so you can contact Jenny Boyle or Angie Fluth to volunteer, but the survey is closed now. Also, there's an announcement regarding Compassion Childcare. If you've been keeping track of things, you know that they're moving, and they're going to be moving to what used to be the School for the Deaf. It's now called the Empower Campus. Well, that is starting this week, and they can use some volunteers. So if you would contact Barry Termott, you would be able to volunteer for a few things that they need help with moving. And those are listed in the bulletin on our website. So contact Barry for that. Also, as you know, we're continuing to watch all the CDC recommendations, and they're changing, as you know, and also the state executive orders, the local ordinances, those are changing as well. And so we're happy that things are starting to open up, but just remember, it doesn't mean that things are back to normal. As things open up, it's important that we stay vigilant about the same things, probably more important as we come into contact with more people, that we stay vigilant, because as our governor likes to say, we can't afford to go back to normal. And this still is a marathon, not a sprint, so it's going to be a while. So as we think about that, love your neighbor as yourself. If you're sick, stay home. Or if you have a family member that's sick, stay home and watch live stream. Also, when you're here, wash your hands often. Do that everywhere, and wash them for a long time. Maintain physical distancing the best you can. We're doing a pretty good job in here, and so we plan to continue doing this, and appreciate that, everybody doing that. The CDC does recommend that you wear a mask if you're in places where you can't maintain physical distancing, and there are times here when that happens, when we're coming and going. So we still encourage you to wear a mask, but we don't require it. Just remember that this mask is not here to protect me, it's to protect you from me. And so that's the case for wearing a mask. And then if you just have the mindset that, you know what, I might be asymptomatic, I might have this virus and not know it, you might be more willing to stay back from people a little bit, not shake hands, etc. So as we see things open up again, it's great to see that. I mean, it almost feels like a sense of freedom. Well, the Apostle Paul wrote about freedom in a different context in Galatians, and I think it applies to us, though, here as we sit here. And here's what he wrote in Galatians 5, starting in verse 13. For you were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. So notice those two things that he contrasts. Don't use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh. On the other hand, use it to serve each other. The next verse says, for the whole law is fulfilled in one word, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So let's use this new or restored freedom, whatever you want to call it, as an opportunity to serve one another. So now let's continue in worship.